We got Kyle Curley, the IT manager and afternoon traffic reporter, SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast, joining us. Kyle, thanks for coming on. What's it like down there now?
Right now, it is getting a little bit better. The wind has died down a little bit. I would say we're under 30 miles an hour. And so far, it's not raining at the moment in Gulfport.
Yeah.
But scattered showers other than that.
And that's what we're seeing as well, although over to your east, looks like there's a band that is sort of draped north and south on top of Pascagoula and along the Mississippi-Alabama state line. And we just had a listener text in and say it is absolutely pounding them. That David in Pascagoula says we're getting pounded by rain right now. So interesting how just a few miles away, big difference.
Yeah, and same thing last night, too, when it was the height of it for us. Just a few miles to the west, Hancock County was getting pounded with 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and we had maybe 40 to 50. So kind of the same story today as this storm is going to drift up coming your way.
Yep.
That tail end band is going to start hitting Pascagoula. Jackson County's probably going to get worse today than they did last night.
Yeah. All right, so when the sun came up this morning, since most of the impact of the storm occurred last night in the dark, what's it look like around there?
For us here on the coast, outside of the usual, we knew it was going to flood, I think everything looks pretty good. There hasn't been widespread reports of trees down. A lot of it is just flooding. Other than that, we didn't have any of the big destruction like took place over in Louisiana. We didn't really, I think the coast did really well. Yeah,
we were certainly blessed in that we were spared from the sort of power that and energy that passed over Louisiana. And of course, we just pray for the folks in Louisiana, our neighbors there to the west. They just got pounded. New Orleans again. It just seems like yesterday we were just getting done recovering from Katrina, to a great extent, still recovering from Katrina.
Yeah.
And here we go again, though it doesn't seem to be the sort of chaos that we had with Katrina. I'm not really sure if that's because people got out. But, you're not seeing just huge crowds trying to pour into the Superdome. I haven't heard of anything yet. Not sure, Rhino and Kyle, if you guys have, or the auditorium down by the river and so forth. Haven't seen that this go-round as of yet.
No, I don't think we will, as long as the levees hold up. And there was a report of I think the pumps did a pretty good job of getting the rain out.
Yeah,
but I don't think we're going to have the big widespread problem that now they're all in the dark.
Yeah,
I don't know how long it's going to take for them to get power again.
Right. You're right, but it didn't have the flooding, I think, which caused a lot of the folks just having to go to higher ground and get somewhere where they could just exist because they couldn't stay in their houses. And we didn't see, remember, East New Orleans, in particular in the 9th Ward, who could forget that, folks up on the roofs trying to get somebody to come in with some sort of air assets to just take them out of there because their water was in their attic. And so you're right, didn't see that this time, and hopefully that is a result of all of the re-engineering and investment made and not only the pumps but the levee system as well.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of lessons learned from Katrina and some subsequent storms since then. At least for us, I know we've had winds stronger and less than what we have in the past 2 days. For the majority of us, we haven't lost power.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 3,000 or 4,000 people maybe at the height that lost power.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they were able to go out and restore power during the storm because the winds outside of those folks in Hancock County that was closer and up in Pearl River County, the winds never got above 45 miles an hour. The power company was out to fix it.
Yeah. That's interesting and also very good to hear. And of course, they all reported, did the power companies, that they had assets staged and positioned and ready to go to work, and saw reports of 750, I think, personnel coming in from Florida Power and Light, FP&L, into the area to help out as well. Of course, when Florida gets hit, you see this when these storms occur, and it seems to really showcase the best, I think, of Americans when you see organizations coming to the aid of others in their critical time of need. Of course, Mississippi power companies and Mississippians do the same when we see this sort of devastation and these storms hit our neighbors. I recall a few years ago what happened with the incredible flooding down around the Baton Rouge, Denham Springs area. You remember that. And we even had a lot of folks, of course, I employed several people that lived in the area that were affected. And a lot of folks from my Ridgeland and Alabama and Tennessee offices went down there to help them out. That's just what good people do. And we see that certainly in these times.
Mississippi Power had just, last week it was, sent 85 people, linemen, support personnel, all up to New York.
Wow.
So, we had assets taken away from the area, and yet we have other assets from other co-ops bringing in to help us out.
Yeah, I'm looking at a live report right now on the screen in the studio from a reporter from Gulfport, Mississippi, says winds at 21, sustained winds gust to 35. But just looking at the shot in the background with the trees and so forth, looks sort of like just a blustery spring day, honestly.
Yeah. And for the most part, those, 35-mile-an-hour winds, probably at the airport where it's open or right along the coast where there's nothing to stop it.
Yeah, good point.
You get up a mile or two, we're up by the interstate, and it doesn't seem that bad. It really has to get going. Of course, we're close to the airport, so we kind of get tunneled into that wind. But for the most part, it's just like a regular spring shower. It's a regular blustery day. It's kind of windy. Yeah, it might rain.
Yeah.
Be careful if you put your umbrella up.
Well, exactly. I experienced that this morning coming from the parking lot into the studio. I made the mistake of pointing my umbrella downwind and in the direction of downwind, and that didn't work out too well. It sort of folded my umbrella pretty rapidly, and it became a useless apparatus at that point. But that's on me for turning.
It's times like that where you just really weigh the options. Do I just put on like an overcoat or something and run?
Exactly.
Or a chance being a flying projectile? Exactly.
Of course, the building here, for the most part, nobody around. A few scattered folks I saw based on vehicles in the parking lot this morning. Rhino, is that kind of what you observed as well?
Skeleton crew.
Yeah. Yep. So, so what about the roads down there, Kyle? I assume since folks are not in school and not going to work, fairly easy to traverse it. Did you have to travel some this morning?
No, I actually stayed at the station all night.
Oh,
so
wow.
I haven't been out yet. I was going to go home, but I got a call that said my air conditioner didn't work, so I'm like, all right, I'll be later.
Oh, geez, I understand that program.
I think it's working now, though. I think it just needed to be reset.
Okay. Well, that's good news.
So,
especially if it didn't cost you a lot of money.
No, it didn't cost anything. We
That's
just had
awesome.
to let it sit for 5 minutes and think about what it did. So, but for the most part, traffic-wise, it's the typical stuff that we're used to here. Yeah. Highway 90 along the beach, there's a lot of sand. There's some of the intersections that are not passable. They're getting better. Hancock County Emergency Agency is going out to try and do a full investigation. What is flooded? What is passable? What really needs work? And they've been really good at putting information out on their Facebook page. Harrison County, I haven't gotten it completely confirmed, but I think they're talking about lifting the curfew at noon.
Okay.
And Hancock County lifted theirs was until 6 a.m. this morning, 7 a.m., and there hasn't been any word on instituting another curfew as of yet.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're safe, my friend, and sounds like the coast was spared. What could have been a much worse situation is predicted. So appreciate you checking in with us, and we'll talk soon.
Yep, I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one. Be safe.
You got it. We've